Is it true what we are hearing? Because, hey, can you imagine?
The way you fix the problem, we Nigerians will go ahead.
No, the emphasis is not propaganda.
It's propaganda.
Are you also aware? As somebody who...
An independent news agency in France, AFP, you guys know them. You cannot buy them. They reported that Nigerian President President Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu said,
"Is there genocide in Nigeria?"
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We don't have such. If you have any 300 billion project that the ministry write to him or whatever, he should come.
Mr. Kunde, you say that you have no clue who talked about a 300 million market. Yet it was your own words.
If we can identify the bandits that have been killing people recklessly, you don't have to waste time to kill them. You are of that. Then you start talking about human rights. Which right?
No.
Can I moderate
this? It's not about propaganda.
May I moderate this panel?
That's a one-sided narrative.
May I moderate this panel?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Plan B TV News Gist and Blog. In Nigeria, hardly before you found a trustworthy politicians outside Alex Otim. Now, let's deal with the current situations on how some pathetic, pretentious liars feed the Nigeria APC government. But before then, I want you guys to watch the First Lady who's supposed to be the mother of the nation. And I want you guys to listen on how he tried to robust the situation of Nigeria under her husband, tried to convince the world that there is no genocide. I want you guys to listen to her.
Is there genocide in Nigeria?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so because when you look at these areas, it was first the headers conflict, and it has been there for years. And when you're coming into an environment that are mainly Christians, when you attack them because you go into their farmlands, and then when you have terrorists and people kidnapping for money, and when the world is throwing a narrative that is Christian genocide, they will now hit on that and begin to attack churches. And you should remember, we are getting into the election year. So there are a lot of things going on that, we don't believe that, it's really genocide the way it's being portrayed.
All right, this is a deeply complex and sensitive issue. The First Lady's words have sparked a debate both at home and among Nigerians in the diaspora. As critics argue, the numbers tell a different story. According to Open Doors World Watch list, over 70% of Christians killed worldwide in recent years have died in Nigeria. Ayo, the First Lady, is re-echoing the federal government stance that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria. Your thoughts?
I don't think we should be surprised at that. She's married to the president. I don't expect her to go on an international platform like that and say that, yes, there's Christian genocide when the government's position has consistently been that there isn't. However, what I would prefer for this government and perhaps the First Lady in using her soft power, this soft power diplomacy, in granting interviews to convince the international community, particularly the United States of America, is to provide alternative facts. The people, the constituents themselves, people who live in these areas have consistently said that there is, in fact, Christian genocide and, persecution based on their faith. The Christian Association of Nigeria has spoken out. The Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria has spoken out. There are religious leaders in the Middle Belt who have spoken out. And this is not just under the Tinubu administration. It's been there consistently before. And the only time their voices were amplified was when President Trump made that tweet. It has been there consistently. The videos of mass graves have been on consistently. And so what I would prefer, rather than just saying, I don't think so, and I mean, she's entitled to her personal opinion on that, but would be provide facts. This is the reason why I believe this isn't, because the others have shown proof. They've shown mass graves, they've talked about churches being burnt. Now they're even advising us not to go and worship in the way that we want to worship. But Dr. Wati says stop the church. You can't ask people not to express their religious rights based on violence. It means that you are confirming the fact that the state has failed in providing security for Christians in the country. And so So like I said, she would say what she would say. But the truth is that the more they deny it, the more they do an injustice to the number of Christians who have been killed in the Middle Belt, in the north, in different parts of Nigeria, and the more they are playing ostrich with facing the problem. Right. I thought this was a fine moment for the Nigerian government to finally tackle this challenge and this issue that a number of Christians have cried out for a very long time. But unfortunately, it seems that they're taking the way out of just denial. But the issue persists. I'm not saying, because two truths can exist at the same time, that there are no more complex issues around herder clashes and all. But we're saying alongside that is a particular target at a particular Christian group. I also want to say that can she grant the local media interviews as well? We've seen a lot of international appearances. It would be great to have her engage with Nigerian journalists as well, and let us, fact for fact, conversation for conversation, and talk about this.
Okay, in this same interview, I want to read a part of it. She personally recounted facing persecution due to her interfaith marriage, being a Pentecostal and married to President Bola Tinubu. Specifically, a Muslim cleric publicly called her heathen and suggested that she should be stoned for openly practicing Christianity. But she noted that many who defended her against this threat were from the north, highlighting nuanced religious dynamics. Doesn't she answer the question for us?
Yes, she actually.
If it's a country that is free of persecution, should she, marrying a Muslim, be a problem in the first place? You see, with her own mouth, despite the fact that they try to deny, you see, hey God, Ayinla Omowura said something famously. Ayinla Omowura said, when you talk too much, you start to lie. The truth is, in this case, with her own mouth, she has come out to say that she herself also faced persecution. They keep saying there's no persecution in this country. Let's say the truth.
As a student of literature,
yes,
the part of her statement that I would take is a statement that religious issues in Nigeria are far more complex and nuanced than it is presented. The emphasis is on the nuance.
Right.
In other words, there isn't a single narrative, to just say, Christians are being persecuted. What she's saying really is that there are many dimensions to the story rather than a single narrative.
Right. She confirmed persecution.
Right. You are right, Rufai.
I said all of us are involved.
Yes.
The major challenge is insecurity in Nigeria, and the Nigerian government is trying to address it by seeking the cooperation of the United States and other countries. Solving the problem is where the challenge is, not about personal testimony.
I disagree with the Nigerian government approach, Oji, please. Is the fact that they are not addressing the problem by partnering with America alone. They are addressing the problem by going on a propaganda spin. Dr. Abati, we here, we are not children. We see it. We know about the $9 million being spent. If you have a problem, you don't need to spend $9 million to be going to talking to CBN and conservative media. Fix the problem. When you fix the problem, we Nigerians will go ahead.
The emphasis is not propaganda.
It's propaganda.
Are you also aware, as somebody who has a microphone, that there are troops, American troops that are here. There are countries collaborating with Nigeria. That's part of the effort.
All right. Can I moderate this plan? Can I moderate this
propaganda.
May I moderate this panel?
That's a one-sided narrative.
May I moderate this panel?
Please go ahead.
May I? All right. Thank you.
If you tell it down, you listen to how the Arise TV address the oil issues. The reason why most of these people don't care is because they are directly beneficiary of all those things that are happening in Nigeria. Do you know that recently Adiola Fayehu dropped a bombshell on Nigerian government, especially that of the APC Bola Ahmed Tinubu, how much millions of dollars he's paying to those Fulani herdsmen, the Al-Qaeda, the Boko Haram, the Fulani, all those terrorists that are occupying our forest? That the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria are now heading, sponsoring, paying, and helping those terrorists. If you think I'm lying, before you start saying, oh, don't accuse the president, I want you guys to watch this video.
Now to the cocoa of the matter, to the story of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, move closer. Boni Alaji, is it true that they said, he said, she said, and someone be like you? Is it true what we are hearing? Because, hey, can you imagine? An independent news agency in France, AFP, you guys know them, you cannot buy them. They reported that Nigerian President, President Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu secretly paid billions of naira to Boko Haram terrorist group. The devil is there. They said he paid this money to secure the release of the nearly 230 kidnapped school children and teachers in Niger State. You guys remember that time that they kidnapped about 200, and actually it was about 300 of them. Some of them escaped. And so now we are hearing from AFP that the president allegedly paid billions of naira for the release of these school children and the teachers, which is in direct violation of Nigeria's anti-ransom laws. She understand? She understand? She you get it? Nigeria has a law that we will not pay ransom anymore to terrorists because that is how terrorists are empowered. So what this thing is telling us now, if it is true, because now it is between Alaji and AFP. What this thing is telling us now is that those students and the teachers were never actually rescued. Because if you rescue somebody, you go in there, you shoot, you kill the kidnappers, and then you rescue them. That is what we call rescue. What we are hearing now is that the Nigerian government did empowerment of the terrorists, giving them billions of naira. Intelligence sources cited by AFP disclosed that the Nigerian government paid a huge ransom with figures ranging between 2 billion to as high as 10 billion. So they allegedly paid between 2 and 10 billion naira to secure these children's freedom. Absolutely, we want the children to be free. We want the teachers to be free. Absolutely. But then they told us that they were rescued. This is not what the Nigerian government said, especially because the Nigerian government has a law against paying terrorists. The one source actually claimed that the government paid approximately 40 million naira per hostage, estimating the total to be around $7 million. These funds were allegedly transported by helicopter into Boko Haram's enclave in Goza, Borno State, near the Cameroonian border. That in itself tells us that the Nigerian government knows the address of Boko Haram. They know where to find them. They know where they are living. You understand? They know their enclave. Go. They know how to enter their apartment. This money was said to have been handed over to a terrorist named Ali Ngulde, a senior Boko Haram commander. The investigation also fingered a feared Boko Haram figure who is known as Sadiku. They said he's the mastermind. This man called Sadiku is already famous for allegedly hijacking a passenger train from Abuja in 2022 and extracting hefty ransom from the passengers. And beyond operating from Borno, the man also allegedly operates a terror cell in Niger State. I'm telling you, Nigerian government, they don't just know their address, they know their offices, like all the branches that they have. 2 Boko Haram commanders were also allegedly freed as part of the negotiation. It wasn't just the money that was paid. It wasn't just the billions that was paid. The Nigerian government also allegedly freed 2 Boko Haram commanders. And they are telling us that they've declared war against terror. So this just makes it obvious that the Nigerian government is the one funding terrorism in Nigeria. Do you know that the government has denied it? But then 4 intelligence sources familiar with the negotiations, they contradicted the official position of the Nigerian government. They told AFP that the payments were definitely made after intense back-channel talks led by the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. Hey! Uncle Nuhu Ribadu, you knew about this? What's that? These negotiations reportedly lasted for 2 weeks before the captives were freed. So for 2 weeks after these kids were kidnapped, the Nigerian government was negotiating with the kidnappers. How much do you want? Okay, this is how much we can afford. Okay, we'll send it by helicopter. Give us your address one more time. Okay, and Nuhu Ribadu will be the one to negotiate. For 2 weeks, guys, there was no rescue mission. For 2 weeks. Once again, we are happy that those kids are freed. Teachers are freed. But what is this? we are empowering terrorists, even if to ensure that none of these kids will be killed, even if they will give them the money for them to be freed. What happened after giving them the money and after they freed the kids? Can't they go back to go and finish the terrorists? Are you telling me that the Nigerian army is not capable of a successful rescue mission? I mean, we just sent Nigerian troops to Benin Republic last year, December, didn't we? When they tried to overthrow their president. They were trying to overthrow their president, their corrupt president. And Nigeria sent soldiers. We sent troops to them like quickly. We cannot send troops to rescue our own children. I don't understand what is happening. This is sad. I interviewed Reverend Ladi Thompson, who said that Nigerian president is in the know about the terrorism that is going on in Nigeria, that he pays them. That video went viral. A lot of people watched it. But there were people who also said, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, now this is AFPO telling us that Nigerian president paid about 10 billion to Boko Haram terrorists. What do you think these people will do with the 10 billion? They'll buy more weapons. They'll terrorize more people. They'll kidnap more people. And if this happened with just one operation, if they could get billions out of one operation, do you know how many operations they've had? Like, do you know how many times they've kidnapped a lot of people that the Nigerian government is trying to save face? Not that they actually cared about these people, but whenever they kidnap a lot of people at a time, the government is trying to save face. So that means they've been paying them each time and telling us that they are rescuing these people, which makes me wonder how many billions have been paid to these terrorists. I think besides just telling us that AFP is lying, the president needs to address this. This is a huge scandal. And Uncle Nuru Ribadu also needs to speak out, because now he's been quoted as the negotiator for terrorists. This is wrong.
You might think it ends there. This is the Benue State governor who is lying, covering up everything that is going on. You might think because he's a pastor that, oh, because this thing is happening, it will be the voice of the voiceless or the voice of the Christian. Do you know that he arrested the American missionary Alex Babin for exposing him, simply because he rebuilt homes for those that the Fulani destroys their houses, because he was saving money to help those that are homeless to get back to their home. He was arrested for good 48 hours, and thereafter he was released, and the guy's mouth was not sealed and exposed our politicians.
Mr. Kunde, instead of commending and praising the work that is done in your state, you spit. You intentionally lie about the work that has been done in order to discredit what we've done.
You are talking of 36 houses. The best of my knowledge, the last time I was there, he raised 18, uncompleted 18 houses that he had.
You know that it's been more than 18 homes. If you've been to Yawada, you know that the work has been ongoing for months. And at this point, dozens and dozens of homes have been completed. But then you want to tell the news and you want to lie and try to discredit. And say that, oh, last time I was there, only 18 homes. Well, you must have not been to Yawada in months, because today is 41. The very work that you yourself refused to do. For 6 months, the government had the funds to do rebuilding, to be able to help the people. And it wasn't done. You sat on the money that was supposed to go to the ones who lost their families, who were massacred in the night, who now have no home. And you chose to do nothing. And we do what you guys refuse to do. And your choice is not to uplift and to praise, but to spit on what we have done.
I don't know who gave him 300 billion projects to build market. It's laughable. We don't have such. If you have any 300 billion project that the ministry write to him or whatever, he should come.
Mr. Kunde, you say that you have no clue who talked about a 300 million market. Yet it was your own words. Tell the truth. I have the messages. They're right here. You sent the video. You told me the figures of what this market that was proposed will cost. And I rejected it and I said no. I said from the very beginning when I came to SEMA, when I came to the Benue government, I'm here to rebuild Yewara, the homes and the market. And the response was the government has a plan. Please, we will do the market. You can do the homes, we will do the market. You rejected my intervention because of your plans. And your plans, based on the messages, was a 300 million market in which no village in Nigeria has. Not one village has this market. And so I ask you, why are you proposing such a monstrously expensive village? Which we can't even find this in Nigeria. The people just want to go home. They just want to survive. They just want to live in peace. They will take anything, even if it's 500,000 naira, whatever it is, to be able to help them. And instead of using what you have to go and help immediately, to run into the fire to help your own people. You are going to sit back and then do nothing because of your 300 million market. I ask you, Mr. Kunde, today, have you built the market? Where are the funds for the market? Where are the funds that have been donated for Yewara? Where are they?
We rejected the plan of thatch houses for the returnees.
There was no plan for thatch houses. If you go to Yewara today, you see cement and brick. Not once was it proposed that we will build thatch houses. If we were going to propose to build thatch houses, we would allow them to do this themselves. They lived in mud and grass. Today, they live in cement.
If we want to settle people, we'll tell them this is the way we want to settle. That's why the government of Benue State also have a resettlement plan. But we cannot return people the same way they were.
You say that you can't return people the same way that they were. I ask you, which people have you returned to their land in Benue? Which ones? Which families? Which homes have you built? Which people have you allowed to go back to their ancestral lands? Which ones? The only reason that I'm even working in Benue and in Nigeria as a whole is because the government is not doing it. You have millions of people around Nigeria who have had their villages burned, their farms have been stolen, they've been forcibly removed from their land. And you guys are allowing this, and you're not helping them. No village has the government built. And so we have to come to be able to do this because as a Christian, we cannot stand by in silence as people are massacred, as Christians are slaughtered, as Muslims are burned. We stand for truth, we stand for justice, we stand for what is right. And it is our duty to do this. And we come because you are not doing it. Our call is to stop the killing. Allow people to go home, protect their families. Allow them to go and live in peace, to farm, to practice Christianity. If they want to practice Islam, let them practice Islam. But let them do it without the fear that in the night their children are going to be burned alive. And use the money that has been donated. Use government funds to be able to help the people that are suffering in your own country. The Tiv, the Hausa, the Irigwe, the people whose blood is being poured out, the people who are afflicted. When will you help? When will you do the right thing?
The Benue State Governor, alias, who was supposed to be a pastor, even if he's not a governor, he was supposed to be the voice for the voiceless. I'm not trying to tell him to take side. Oh, you know, there's genocide or there's no genocide. But say it as it is. You don't need to lie in order to favor your political party. Now, do you know that this is a state governor? Benue State, look at the bridge that is crossing to visit a community. And the worst part of it, they are not even ashamed of those things they are doing. I just think he's the only pathetic liar. There are some people that are not also excluded from the list of pathetic liars who just base their duty as a governor or whatever political party they occupied as a liar. What do you do under this APC? I lied for a living. I lied for this purpose. And I'm a minister of liar, or I'm the wife of a pathetic liar, or I don't know. It is a shame that most of these politicians cannot even defend their lies. They will rather use more lies to cover up their lies and use more lies to cover up the lies that they were using to cover up the first lies. It is painful that in Nigeria, despite some communities that are being marginalized, some of them still fed and licked the boots of their oppressor. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or right from the genesis of this APC, they are good at releasing terrorists back to the community. Once you get them arrested, then they make money out of it. How do they do it now? They will send those terrorists back to the community. I don't know if they are the one, but what is happening in Nigeria, they will not kidnap a lot of students, a lot of community people. Then they will not say they need so billions of dollars. That money will be taken from Nigeria treasury accounts and hand over to them, and they will not negotiate and say, we will return half of your people, then you will not return half of our people that is in your custody, our leaders in your custody. After we release this one, we will not release the remaining one. That has been the business. So for this government to take money from the treasury, for the state governor to do it, or for the president or whoever that have been doing this, they will take this money as after sending those boys to go and kidnap, and once they do those things, they pay them off and they retrieve the citizen, and all of you will start clapping for them. That is why in Kwara State, up till today, nobody have been able to prove who was behind the ordering of those soldiers before the church attack. Every time there are military checkpoints, when this thing is happening, military will not react. It is also painful sometimes you see the military on the war front reacting out of control because they buy some of these Fulani, they will dismiss them. They said, we told you to cease fire. They were already running. Why were you still firing them? Why did you shoot them at the back? For that reason, you are dismissed. They will dismiss you. Have you not seen, they will say there are human rights organizations. I'm not lying, this is what is going on in Nigeria. There are human rights organizations that will say that these Fulani herdsmen can buy Nigeria soldiers, but Nigeria soldiers cannot buy them. If the Nigeria soldiers not buy those Fulani, then the human rights will now step in and said, why are you claiming the life of those people that are claiming your life? If you think I'm lying, I want you guys to watch this senator.
If we can identify the bandits that have been people recklessly, you don't have to waste time to kill them. And I'm sure some of you are of that. Then you start talking about human rights. Which right? What of the right of the people that were killed? Small children, women raped by these people. And then when the Nigerian army stands up to them, and then they kill our soldiers, ambush them, put AIDs or whatever to blow them off, and then now you start asking me questions about their human rights. This is very unfortunate. I must say it. So what do you want the military to do? Not to do the fight? Not to have casualties in the course of the fight? Honestly, you are my friends, but I'm blunt. One of the major problems in this country is the press. I swear, you people are not helping. Instead of playing the angel, you play the devil. It doesn't help. It doesn't help us. Why don't you play the angel? We are fighting this war. I don't know whether you are from the Northwest, but you know how these people have made life. To me, if we can identify the bandits that have been killing people recklessly, you don't have to waste time to kill.
A lot of things is going on in Nigeria. That your life does not matter to the government, but the life of those in the forest matter much more than the life of those soldiers or any of you. Once you raise your voice, you want to speak, they use politics to manipulate all of you by throwing some coins in your pocket. All of you start shouting, APC, APC. Now, you will see right from 2015 to this very moment, all they brought to you is agony, pain, suffering, set backwardness, stagnation. They cannot even give account of say, oh, ever since we have occupied office, because we solely believe that the PDP were in office for good 16 years. They could not bring development. Ever since we came for the past 10 to 11 years now, this is what we have been able to achieve. No, they don't. Instead, they are blaming Buhari, the late Buhari. If I know I can't do it, why was I selling myself out for you? That is what the president or the government of Nigeria are doing. They will tell you they can do this. I will do this within the first year. I will do this before the second year. I will do this before 6 years. Before you apply, after you vote for them or they stole their way in, they will do nothing. If you ask them, why have you not been able to do this? They will say, go and blame the person that was there. If we are to blame the past administrative, why did you not come out to contest? Oh, yeah, of selfish interest. Anyway, I rest my case here. What do you think about Benue State Governor? What do you think about your First Lady? What do you think about everything that is going on in Nigeria? What do you think about the insecurity? What do you think about what this government are doing? You heard from Adiola, the money that your government is supposed to put in the economy to help or do a lot of things, they are using it to feed terrorists. Aside that, when this thing happen and get to the public, they will take another 9 million, run to America to silence the media. Spending your money. And some people will say, Jackaban for the North, or your mandate will stand. This hurts.
What we are saying is that they should not give us the narrative that this thing does not exist. Let us straighten the matter.
Right.
We do not want President Trump to come and invade this place.
Clearly.
What we are saying is that Mr. President should do the right thing by getting security people to crush these people. People who are protecting them are enemies of the state, are they enemies of Nigeria.
Right.
People who are advising that the Mr. President should be negotiating with these terrorists. Trump is saying that, look, enough is enough of crushing Christians like that with impunity. In a particular December, they burned St. Teresa Church in Abuja here, at the border here. They have burned so many churches in a war. They went there. Are there Christians that went to a war to invade the church and killed so many people? And so many churches like that where they have destroyed even all these assets, even and human beings in Benue, in Plateau, in so many other places in Nigeria like that. It is not about saying, oh, they have killed Christians, they have killed Muslims. That is, it is collateral damage. Where you heard that they have killed the Muslims. It is those Muslims who didn't believe in the fundamental objective of terrorists. They killed them.